Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. As Europe returns to the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine, Poland, despite the pressure applied last week by media and lobbyists, never ceased using it. However, up to 70% of patients refuse to be vaccinated with this vaccine. According to the Health Ministry, patients are returning to the AstraZeneca vaccine now as vaccinations start on the age group of people aged 69. Poland did not give up the use of the AstraZeneca vaccines despite the alarmist linking of it to blood clots in some patients. This shows that we made the right decision not to suspend these vaccinations. I have already received a report from Minister Dworczyk. It shows that more people are willing to be vaccinated with this vaccine. This is very good news. Vaccinations help. We can see it clearly from the example of other countries. False information about the AstraZeneca vaccine made a significant number of people refuse vaccination. The AstraZeneca vaccine is safe. It is effective. This is confirmed by the best experts in Europe, and our government emphasises it, having at its disposal the best Polish experts. Michael Dworczyk, Chief of Staff of the Prime Minister's Office, hopes that the second quarter of 2021 will bring a mass vaccination of the population. The Ministry of Health reports 14,500 new coronavirus infections. Another 65 people have died. It is now possible to see the effect of the vaccinations. In hospital intensive care units, the number of people over 70 has decreased, although there are more people aged between 40 and 50. Since the beginning of the pandemic, over 2 million people in the country have contracted the SARS-CoV-2. COVID-19 has been fatal for over 49,000 people. Vaccination is the only effective weapon in the fight against the pandemic. Since the beginning of the pandemic, over 5 million vaccinations have been performed in Poland. Over 3,240,000 people have received the first, and nearly 1,700,000 have received both doses. Tomasz Grodzki is a politician of the opposition Civic Platform. In 2019, he won his first national position in the Senate. In the lower house of Parliament, his party is in the minority, but in the Senate, it has a majority of one. So Tomasz Grodzki became the Speaker of the Senate and the third person in the state. He is also Professor of Medicine, and he is followed by corruption allegations regarding his work in a clinic in Szczecin. The prosecutor's office has demanded that his immunity be lifted. The motion on this matter will be decided by the Marshal of the Senate, one Tomasz Grodzki. The prosecutor's office is demanding explanations regarding the suspicion of accepting financial benefits from patients or their relatives at the time when Tomasz Grodzki was the director of a specialist hospital in Szczecin and the head of the chest surgery department there. The PO politician has repeatedly denied accepting any material benefits. However, the multi-threaded investigation, during which 180 witnesses were questioned, allowed the prosecution to formulate charges of accepting financial benefits. Tomasz Grodzki is accused of accepting financial benefits. He accepted them in 2006, 2009 and 2012. He accepted them in the form of money from 1,500 to 7,000 zlotys. In return, he undertook to carry out the operations personally, or to perform them more quickly, or to provide better medical care. According to the investigators, the testimony of witnesses shows that in the hospital ward, the knowledge that Dr. Grodzki was accepting bribes was common. The first was revealed in 2019 by Tomasz Grodzki, a Radio Szczecin journalist. This is not a surprise because the prosecutor's office that initiated the investigation into this case at the end of 2019 collected very strong evidence. And let me remind you that almost 200 witnesses were interviewed who confirmed corruption in the hospital headed by Professor Tomasz Grodzki, the current Marshal of the Senate. Witnesses said directly that he was taking money from them for carrying out operations. Today, we know there were 4 such events. According to the head of the Senate Club of Civic Coalition, the actions of the prosecutor's office have a political motive. The ruling party tries to cover up their tragic omissions in the fight against the pandemic and the real scandal of high-tech with the invented charges against Marshal Tomasz Grodzki. Pathetic and disgraceful. The Marshal of the Senate, in addition to denying reports of bribery, sued the media and journalists revealing it. Tomasz Grodzki has the last chance to prove that he is an honest and decent man. All he needs is to waive his own immunity, support the motion and refute the evidence gathered by the prosecution. It seems unlikely that about 200 people, including many voters of Mr. Grodzki's party, would conspire against Grodzki, but anything is possible. Tomasz Grodzki, if he wants to prove that he has nothing to do with these accusations, that he did not wrest the last penny from the dying or their families, has to come forward himself to have his immunity lifted. Offences of accepting a financial advantage are punishable by up to 8 years in prison. Pursuant to the regulations in force, the waiver of the immunity of deputies and senators is necessary to bring criminal charges against them. The Central Police Investigation Bureau has detained 4 people, including the leader of a leading criminal group in the Sente province. The group is charged with supplying narcotics with a value of 14.5 million zloty. 3 people are charged with participating in an organised crime group and a 4th with leading the group. This man was temporarily arrested. In the case, there are 55 suspects, 16 of whom are temporarily arrested. Investigators secured property worth over 800,000 zloty, cash, funds accumulated on bank accounts and shares in companies. Suspects were brought to the regional prosecutor's office in Białystok, where they heard accusations of trading substances hazardous to life and health of many people. The President of Poland has awarded the Commander's Cross of the Order of Polonia Restituta to Robert Lewandowski, the captain of the Polish national football team and a Bayern Munich forward. Robert Lewandowski, a famous Polish sportsman, is honoured for displaying outstanding sports achievements and for promoting Poland in the international arena. You are the best player in the world, and that is wonderful and amazing. But this decoration is about you. I believe that success has not changed you, and secondly, it is about Poland, that you represent all the time. I am proud of this award. I must say that football is a team sport and not an individual sport, and all I achieve is thanks to the coaches and my teammates. There is a whole staff working towards success, and of course, the family. Regardless of whether it is a match for the Polish national team or in my team, I always remember where I come from. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.